Dana, any thoughts from a local perspective about when your machines do have to go through some sort of an upgrade? Is there a problem?
I think there's a lull in the marketplace right now for good products to buy, unfortunately. And this is relevant to this local jurisdiction because our plan all along had been to use 2009 to go into the marketplace and start researching for our next generation of equipment. Well, if the marketplace can't deliver us products that our citizens like here, then there's simply nothing that we can purchase. I mean, at least we have those regulations and those checks and balances in place. So what I would say is, I also appreciate what the AEAC is trying to do, and the fact that Texas codified that federal law, so it is now mandatory state law for us here as well. I still believe in American ingenuity and what people can come up with, and I think that once we get the November election kind of through, I think there will be an opportunity for everybody to redirect their attention and their resources back to the sort of the back burner business. We need product development. We need more research and development. We need more testing protocols. We need to figure out election testing protocols. All of that work needs to be done, and I think not to consider this huge election, not to recognize that it's taking up a lot of resources right now is kind of silly. After this is over with, and I think we can do some serious work in getting this product line going again.
Okay. Well, sticking with Dana then, Dana, during your opening remarks, you said that we don't trust, we test. If your voting machines in Travis County could talk, they'd probably be complaining, is my guess, because I believe you do acceptance testing, you do pre and post logic and accuracy testing. I don't know, you may do some parallel monitoring at times, and perhaps some post-election audit as well. Talk about whether Travis County is the norm, or are you the exception in how you, the protocols toward handling your paperless DRA systems?
Right. Ann McGinn at the Secretary of State's office and I have talked about this issue. We do more testing than probably most counties you will hear of. I think that's rapidly changing and growing. One of the things that we did when we kind of figured out the way to describe a lot of, let me just start with, a lot of times people will say to you, well, I'm just worried about something, and I don't know exactly what it is. Well, it's difficult to write a procedure that will capture, that will make that situation better when you really don't know what you're working with. So what we've had to do is go through and literally, specifically label out in every single county the kinds of risks that you truly might see depending on which kind of system you have and what mitigator did you put in place to take care of that risk. And now that we're getting down to the not just the nuts and bolts, but the actual detail following a risk assessment and getting these concerns more defined and more logical has paved the way for other institutions, other jurisdictions to adopt these policies as well. And it does look like that the triumvirate of the tests that we use, and there are a bunch of tests that come under these three different categories, but basically logic and accuracy testing, which has been around for since the post-World War II, something like that, sometime in the 50s. Logic and accuracy testing, both before and after. Hash code testing, which is relatively new, but a test for jurisdictions to easily pick up and take to heart and actually make work. And then parallel monitoring, which is one of the more difficult and expensive tests to do. And we've done it here for quite some time. And the way we do parallel monitoring is that it is done every single day of early voting and election day as well. Now that's a lot of testing to ask a smaller jurisdiction to undertake, but I think that's the direction that we're all being called to. That's going to be the new standard, is that those are the tests we're going to use for the future. And then I think we've already started to talk about, well, what are we going to do post-election? Are the tests that we're using right now adequate enough? Do we need more? Should we think about other kinds of protections or detections that we want to put into it? Those conversations have yet to be had, and all of those conversations are going to resurge again right after the November election.